So our task was to write a function that takes three arguments, the annual interest rate, the capital invested, the duration of the investment, and should take these arguments to compute the total or the daily interest payments. We first of all need to think about the name for our function. So in our case, let's call it, I don't know, let get daily interest. Then we use the assignment operator, and we use the function to define a function. Then we need to add the arguments that our new function should take. In our case, that's the interest rate, it's the capital invested, and the investment duration. In principle, it doesn't really matter how you call the arguments, but these are going to be the names of the arguments that are then later used if we call the function. We are currently only talking about mandatory arguments that we define for our new functions, so the names are not strictly necessary, but still I would recommend you to use some names that are meaningful. Then we open the curly brackets, we press enter to enter the function body. So now we need to write down the routine that the function should actually apply whenever it is called on its inputs. Then we need to look at the slides and remember the equation that we got here. The equation was simply to get the capital invested times the interest rate times the investment duration divided by 365, because that's the number of days of the year. Of course, if the year has an extra day, we would need to write something more specific or more detailed here, but let's keep it simple for the sake of the argument right now. Now this would, in principle, already be sufficient, but let's be a little bit more explicit. And here, define an object, daily payments, and return this explicitly. As I said, this is not strictly necessary, but I recommend you to do it, especially in the beginning. So now let's test our function by say, okay, we have an interest rate from 3%, we invest 50,000 euros of capital, and we do so for 50 days. Now what happens very frequently, you press enter and you get an error. This function is not defined, or the error that the function has not been defined yet. This always happens if you actually define your function here, but you forgot to execute this code. Make sure here in the global environment your function actually is visible. You can test this also by writing the name of your function here, press enter. You will actually then see the function definition down here. Now you can call the function, get the actual result. Here when we call the function, we could actually be even a little bit more explicit by writing the names of the argument here. We can also exploit the way R handles line breaks. Here we now have quite a transparent way of how to compute the daily interest rate. Now this is much easier to read and to understand than just putting these numbers there.